Be up. Mic on? I don't know if the mic's on or not. Is it on? Test, test, test. At this time, can we please ask everyone to please take their seats? We'll be starting the induction ceremony in about 15 minutes. No, actually about 5 minutes. Okay.
Sunglasses on while I shed a tear. It's never the right time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I put my armor on so you are strong. My armor on, I'll show you that. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I don't need batteries today.
Good evening and welcome to the 49th Annual New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame Induction Banquet. My name is Ed Nunez, and I have the honor to be the Master of Ceremonies for this wonderful event this evening. During this evening, we'll recognize several athletes, coaches, and celebrate the induction of 5 distinguished individuals into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. This induction banquet is dedicated to the 2022-23 Board President, Theo Bardella, who passed away on June 21st. This induction banquet is presented by Gala Chevrolet, led by General Manager Eddie Espinosa. ProView Networks is broadcasting this event on live to the world over the internet on www.proviewnetworks.com and tape delayed on Comcast Channel 26. Please everyone stand and clap for the introduction of the class of 2022. Let me know. Cheryl Johnson. Cheryl spent 31 years in APS education as a physical education teacher, volleyball, basketball, and softball coach, assistant principal, and athletic director. She won state championships in softball and was one of the top racquetball players in the state and country.
Brian. Stay right there. You're gonna take a picture. You're gonna take a picture.
Ty Murray. Ty is considered the GOAT in pro rodeo and pro bull riding. He is a 7-time world champion. He is the co-founder of the Pro Bull Riding Association. Jennifer Poyer. Jennifer is considered the most accomplished athlete in Eastern New Mexico University history. She was the best player ever in volleyball and basketball. Cindy Roybal. Cindy is one of the greatest girls basketball coaches ever. Her teams in high school and college have won more than 600 games and 2 state titles. Danny Villanueva, represented by his wife Myrna, sons Daniel and Jim Villanueva. Danny was a New Mexico State and NFL football player for the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys, who would be the co-founder of Univision Network. Please remain standing for our national anthem. Performing the national anthem will be Malia Baca.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Malia Baca. I would like to ask Roger Holian to come to the podium to deliver the invocation for this evening.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you and we present the New Mexico Hall of Fame event before you, and we invite you to bless us with your presence. Lord God, we want to take a moment to lift all the families in Maui, Hawaii, affected by the devastating fires, and we ask you to be with them, Lord, to comfort them and to provide for them as only you can. Father, this evening is dedicated to recognizing the 5 inductees: Cindy Roybal, Ty Murray, Danny Villanueva, Jennifer Gable Poyer, and Cheryl Johnson. Lord, please bless the inductees tonight. Help them feel honored and appreciated for their dedication and years of hard work in their particular areas of heart's sport. Bless all those involved in putting this tremendous annual event together to honor the inductees for their time and effort, for the material resources given. We especially want to honor the life and legacy of Theo Barella, his leadership, and all he did to make this an amazing event. Lord, please bless this food to nourishment to our bodies. And all God's people said, amen.
Everybody can take a seat, please. Thank you, Roger. As we mentioned earlier, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame President Theo Barella passed away recently. The board decided that Theo worked countless hours and extremely hard to make this event special, that we would use his opening speech from last year, which reflects Theo's passion and vision for the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is please take a seat. My name is Theodore Barella, and it is a privilege to be president of the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. I joined the organization about 2.5 years ago, so I'm relatively new, but I was indoctrinated quickly by a pretty amazing group of people on the board that made all of this possible. I'd, at the same time, like to thank our partner companies for coming to the table with financial help and help in many forms, lunches, breakfast, towels on the golf course. Without each and every one of you, this would not be possible. I want to give special recognition to Eddie Espinoza and Gala Chevrolet for really stepping up in a huge way for us this year. COVID made everything a little bit more difficult last year and this year, but we powered through because that's what we do. I would like to thank all of you who have traveled from many areas of our state and even from California and Colorado to be a part of this auspicious event. And again, it is my privilege to be part of an organization that honors people who not only made their mark on the field, but also off the field, because the inductees represent far more than just their success in the sport, but also in life. And I can tell you that we have yet another extraordinary class of people that we'll be inducting this evening. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for being a part of this. And we hope that you will continue to support our organization and watch us grow. One last thing I did want to say is this year will be the start of a new fund that we are creating. We're going to work very hard at. We love the portraits and the fact that the convention center gives us space to display past inductees. We want to build an actual museum and sports hall of fame. So we have a bricks and mortar fund that we will be starting with our new banking partner, U.S. Eagle Credit Union, by the way. Please continue to support us. Look for some great things to come down the road. Thank you for being with us, and have a great evening.
As you can see, Theo had big dreams for the Hall of Fame. I know Theo would want to thank all our partner companies. At this time, will all partner company owners and or company representatives please stand up? With these partners' support, we were able to make our Charity Golf Classic and Introduction Banquet a first-class event for our honorees and attendees. Let's welcome board member and 2000 inductee Frank Castillo to the podium. Let's also welcome ALS New Mexico Executive Director Joe Cordova and incoming Executive Director Katie Crouch to the front of the stage for New Mexico ALS Lou Gehrig's Disease Association donation on behalf of former New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame board member Gene Pino. Gene has been battling ALS since 2011. We want to thank and wish the best to Joe. He did an incredible job over the last year while raising money and running first-class events such as their charity golf tournament and ALS Walk. He will be retiring on December 31st. Katie will take the reins on January 1st. She has been Joe's right-hand person for most of these 3 years. Let's take a look.
The best coaches and teachers, and I wanted to be an architect, but I fell in love with coaching and teaching.
He's so upbeat about life and just continues to participate at every level.
He could just quit and just feel sorry for himself. That's not Gene.
I just keep going because I don't want to give up.
Gene just never stops. He wants to go to every advocacy opportunity. He wants to fundraise as much as he can every single year.
Yeah, we try to raise a lot of money for research to find a cure.
I think his positive attitude has been infectious and really helped a lot of us.
He's given me a completely different outlook on life and how to live your life.
There's not too many people I know that does what he does. I've never heard Gene quit.
The things that we learn from athletics and competition, the teamwork, the dealing with the adversity, being behind, never giving up. I thought that they were talking to me about being behind in the game and trying to come back. No, they were talking about having to deal with something like ALS.
Let's welcome Gene and his wife Sadie to the front of the stage. Let's have board members Frank Castillo and past President Dick Johnson, Gene Pino, and Sadie Pino join Joe and Katie in the front of the stage to present a $10,000 check.
Gene wanted me to say this for him. He sent this to me the other day. I wouldn't be here without my caregivers. My wife, Sadie, for 13 years, and Bernice for 4.5 years. Thank you to the Hall of Fame Board of Directors for donating to ALS patients like me to help pay for new treatments and medications to prolong my life. Please have a big round of applause, if you would, and stand for my hero, Gene Pino.
Please join me in celebrating two of the greatest sports heroes, Rusty Mitchell and Theo Bardella, who passed away since our last banquet in August of 2022.
And now from Southern Illinois, Rusty Mitchell. Double back somersault, beautifully executed. Back somersault, front somersault. Rusty Mitchell, 1964 NCAA champion in tumbling. Now on the parallel bars, Rusty Mitchell of Southern Illinois. Basket to handstand, the most difficult move on the parallel bars. Now his strength move, the press to handstand. And the front somersault and half twist dismount. That's Rusty Mitchell of Southern Illinois.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
That's some great videos there. Thanks to Theo Barella's niece. That was also Theo accompanying singing on that video. Also, thanks to Shailene Mitchell, Rusty Mitchell's widow, who was kind enough to get us those videos and pictures of a very young Rusty Mitchell. As always, we have a lot of Hall of Famers in attendance tonight, and we want to thank them for being a New Mexico sports hero. At this time, I would like to welcome, as I call your name to the front of the stage, all past Hall of Fame inductees. Carol Barnett, 2012. Carol, would you mind coming to the front? Frank Castillo, 2016. Jim Ciccarello, 2010. Susan Craig, 2019. Jim Ottman, 2006. Buddy Robertson, 2007. Henry Tafoya, 2015. Curtis Williams, 2018. Don Woods, 1999. Bill Gracie, 2021. Let's hear it for all our Hall of Famers. Please enjoy your meal. We will get started shortly with honoring the class of 2022 inductees and annual award winners. didn't touch it. That's light. Test, test. Okay. I hope everyone is enjoying their meal. Before we go on, I want to give a shout out to ProView Networks, ProView President Steve Davis, producers Jason Pohl, Alden Iawani, and Aaron Rivera for their hard work in helping present this banquet videos and helping the banquet tonight. Thanks to ProView Networks. It's time to begin our program. Our first inductee is Daniel Dario Danny Villanueva. Danny's life was a rags to riches story. Danny was one of the NFL's first Latino kickers and a pioneer of Spanish language television. Danny played football for the New Mexico State Aggies over 8 seasons in the NFL and also for the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. He co-founded Univision Network. Please direct your attention to the screens on either side of the stage.
32-yard field goal attempt by Danny Villanueva. And it is good.
I'm going to share with you the story of my great-grandfather, Daniel Dario Villanueva, who, for the few years I got to know him, I would call Papa V. Daniel was born to Primitivo and Pilar Villanueva on November 5, 1937, in Tucumcari, New Mexico. His family with 12 children soon moved to Calexico, California, where his parents were pastors of Calexico United Methodist Church and served the local community in all kinds of practical ways. With so many siblings living under a small roof in a poor town, often Danny and his siblings would go outside for fun playing sports. Later, playing football and basketball at Calexico High School, Danny's mom pushed her boys to be their best. Danny recalls after losing an important game, he was sent to bed without any dinner. The next morning, his mother greeted him with, "Good morning, loser." Later, Danny would realize what his mother knew so well, that sports were her boy's ticket out of poverty. Through experiences like this, he learned from an early age how to work hard and excel in whatever he did. This ethos would serve Danny the rest of his life. Danny attended Reedley College in Central California for 2 years, where he worked at a peach packing facility. Here he met his future wife, Myrna Schmidt. In 1958, he accepted a football scholarship at New Mexico State University in Las Cruces. He spent the next 2 years wearing number 30 as their place kicker and punter. He was on the championship team of the 1959 Sun Bowl.
32-yard field goal attempt by Danny Villanueva. And it is good. The kick is good.
My name is Daniel Dario Villanueva. I was a kicker with the LA Rams and in Dallas a total of 8 years. I went to New Mexico State University where I played football.
After an undefeated senior season at New Mexico State in 1959, Villanueva found himself undrafted.
So I was doing my student teaching at Las Cruces High School, and a little office girl came up and said, "You got Elroy Hirsch on the line." And they asked me if I would come out to LA for a tryout.
In 1960, the LA Rams took a chance and signed him to be used in one of the few positions generally available to Hispanic players at the time, kicker.
When I came on the field, they would play bullfight music, which I thought was kind of silly. I had to take the mandatory picture with a guitar and a sombrero.
Villanueva led the Rams in scoring his first 3 seasons before being traded to Dallas. He was embraced by teammates in both cities, but he was always aware of subtle differences.
I didn't dwell on anything that had a racial undertone. I just saw that I was just a little different, and I just saw it as an opportunity to have an impact as an Hispanic player.
After 8 largely successful NFL seasons, Villanueva took his career in a new direction.
After we played the Green Bay Packers at the Ice Bowl game in Green Bay, they beat us. In my mind, that was it for me. And so I really retired on the way back to the dressing room, and I began my career in television. Eventually, I became a news director and then president of KMEX.
His business acumen, passion for Hispanic entertainment, and the competitive drive of his football days led to a partnership in what would become Univision.
I was the baby of the group, 5 of us that founded what became Univision, and we sold it to Hallmark Cards for $301 million.
He believed strongly in the value of education and consistently found opportunities to support young students as well. In 1991, he established the Danny Villanueva Scholarship Endowment at his alma mater, New Mexico State University, to recognize and offer financial support for students who go above and beyond, excelling in leadership and community involvement. At the time of his death in 2015, this scholarship fund had provided scholarships to over 40 NMSU students. In addition, he wanted to create a place for NMSU students, faculty, staff, and community families to have a place for their young children to be able to go while they went to work or attended school. So he created a children's early education program and named it in honor of his wife, Myrna. Myrna's Children's Village was built on the NMSU campus and has helped many NMSU graduate students and faculty members with schooling and daycare for their young kids. Danny Villanueva lived the iconic rags to riches story of the American dream, but he made it all about something greater and more significant than personal fame and fortune. He understood the role of leadership as an act of service to those beside him and those who would come behind him. He pioneered great success in sports, broadcasting, venture capital, education, and public service. He really wanted to help and make a difference in people's lives. This was his greatest frontier.
This time, I would like to invite our inductees representative and wife of Danny Villanueva, Myrna Villanueva, sons of Daniel and Jim Villanueva, and New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame board member Henry Tafoya, and Hall of Fame inductee partner New Mexico State President David Strong, John Cordova, board member of the New Mexico State Foundation, and top Aggie Charlie Rogers to come to the center of the stage. Almost. Yeah, you're supposed to be up here. Sorry about that. You're supposed to be up here. Please welcome Danny's sons, Daniel and Jim, to the podium to say a few words.
Thank you. What an honor. Dad loved New Mexico, and he loved his alma mater, New Mexico State University. So thanks for indulging us in that brief NMSU musical interlude. I know there's a lot of other fight songs represented in this room. I think Marty's joking over here. Well, I think for Dad, it was an interesting rivalry between the schools too, because it was a friendly one, and it figured so serendipitously in Dad's open door to his professional career in professional football. You see, it was a game right here in Albuquerque against the Lobos in 1959. when he was noticed by a scout for the Los Angeles Rams, who was there to evaluate his teammates, Dr. Charlie Johnson, Purvis Atkins, and Bobby Gators, all of whom ended up in professional football. It was a marvelous team. At the end of the game, there was a brief note that was left in the scouting report that read, "Short Mexican kicker, not bad." Dad really didn't expect to play in the NFL. In fact, he was teaching English at Las Cruces High School when the principal walked in, and you heard the story in my dad's own voice on the video. The legendary Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch called, and Dad had some funny things to say about what went through his head, but he could scarcely believe the principal and barely stayed respectful. But the call was a legitimate one, and so he was invited to LA for a tryout. And that tryout really was emblematic of the kind of support and friendship that Mom and Dad enjoyed in Las Cruces. Because being remembered and called to a tryout was only one aspect of that. There was a huge problem. They didn't have two nickels to rub together. How was Dad going to get to LA for a tryout? But it was a generosity of friends and an anonymous gift that allowed them to cobble the money together for Dad to venture the trip across the desert to LA. It was also very unlikely because Dad hadn't trained in months. It was months since the season had ended, and he had not seen a training field since and was working in the classroom. So it was amazing favor. Dad enjoyed a lot of favor on his life, and began his career with the Rams. So at the tryout, he was offered a contract on the spot, and he signed it. And the guy said, "Wait a minute, we haven't filled it out yet." And he said, Dad said, "It doesn't matter. This is a road to something else." And such was Dad's remarkable journey into football. He had the faith and really was willing to sacrifice a lot for his young family. And the rest is history, as they say. Over the years, Dad came to New Mexico every chance he get. He loved this state. And he loved the people of this state all around. He had friends ranging from Las Cruces to Belen and Albuquerque and on into Santa Fe, and really enjoyed and invested a lot of his time and effort and friendship time in this state. And since he had received so much support himself, he and Mom worked really hard to make sure that others would have similar opportunities by attending New Mexico State. I wish he could be here today. He's received a lot of commendations and awards over his lifetime. This would have been special. It was interesting walking through the hall downstairs and seeing the portraits of so many previous inductees into the Hall of Fame. Teammates, Charlie Johnson, Purvis Atkins from NMSU. Teammates, Ralph Neely, Don Perkins from the Dallas Cowboys. Just a remarkable walk through history that I know he would appreciate so much if he got to be here this evening. To all the other worthy recipients here today, first of all, our congratulations. You are so worthy, and learning of your sacrifices and triumphs is most inspiring. Thanks to the sponsors of the event here today. You make this all possible, and we're very grateful, including the New Mexico State Foundation. Thank you for supporting today, and Dad really enjoyed his work there, and particularly with John Cordoba over here on the other side. They worked tirelessly to help students and faculty excel in the classroom and beyond. On behalf of our family, my mom, Myrna, Dad's wife of 57 years, and my brother Jim, we would especially thank Marty Sainz and Theo Varela, who have been so gracious. Our condolences to the Varela family and the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame for your tremendous loss. Thank you to the Hall of Fame board, volunteers, and donors honoring one Daniel Dario Villanueva today. He's been honored for many achievements and civic contributions, but I always end and like to say, yes, but may I tell you, he was an even better dad, grandpa, and great-grandpa. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Jennifer Poyer. Jennifer is the most decorated athlete in Eastern New Mexico University's history. Jennifer is the all-time leading scorer with 1,852 points in basketball. Jennifer led the Zias to a regular season Lone Star Conference basketball title and their best ever record, 23-5 in 1992 and 1993. In volleyball, Jennifer was a four-time first-team All-Lone Star Conference pick, being named the Lone Star Conference Player or Co-Player of the Year all 4 years. Once again, please direct your attention to the screens on either side of the stage.
The Eastern New Mexico Zia volleyball team improved their record to 33 wins and only 6 losses for the season as they won the Lone Star Conference tournament in Denton last weekend.
Jennifer Poyer is one of the most accomplished athletes in Eastern New Mexico athletics history. Her athletic career began in San Antonio, Texas at John Marshall High School, where she was all-district in basketball, volleyball, and track and field. In 1990, she was honored as the Greater San Antonio Player of the Year in basketball and as the greatest female athlete. She made the 500-mile move to Portales, New Mexico in 1990, where she would continue her stellar athletic career as a two-sport athlete for the Zias. Poyer played basketball and volleyball each for 4 years.
Sherry and Jennifer Goebel, seen here, have been two of the leading scorers for the Zias in attacks and kills.
Jennifer Poyer joined the volleyball team in her sophomore year, where she shined even brighter. Poyer is the only person in the history of the Lone Star Conference to earn Player of the Year and all Lone Star Conference selections 4 times, earning the honor in 1991, 92, 93, and 1994. Her accolades in volleyball are numerous. She was an honorable mention for All-American, had multiple Player of the Week selections, and was voted the greatest Zia each of her 4 seasons. She set Lone Star Conference records for solo blocks in a game and career with 18 and 360 respectively. The most blocks in a season with 266 and career with 791.
I think that they picked the MVP from the winning team, and we've never won, so. But I think we all played really well, and I mean, Hiskey hit over 500, Hutchins had great sets, Julie hit down, everybody played so well, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. It's great.
On Monday night, the Zias dominated the final 15 minutes of play against the Lady Javelinas en route to its 3rd straight Lone Star Conference victory. Jennifer Goebel, the conference's leading scorer, led the Zia attack with 29 points and 9 rebounds.
Jennifer Goebel, she's hitting a 2 out of the middle, and that's a lot of power behind that ball.
In basketball, Poyer earned 2 Player of the Year nods in the Lone Star Conference, as well as the Freshman of the Year in 1990-91, and was an All-Lone Star pick each of her 4 seasons. In 1992, she was an All-American, as Jennifer was the 4th leading scorer in the nation with 24.8 points per game during the regular season, and led the Zias to the Lone Star Conference regular season title. Poyer would finish her career as the leading scorer all-time with 1,852 points, a record that still holds to this day.
The portrait for our next New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame inductee will be presented by board member Paula Schwartz and Hall of Fame partner Eastern New Mexico's University representatives are Jennifer's basketball coach Wayne Moore and volleyball coach Mike McGuire. Let's welcome our new inductee, Jennifer Poyer, to the center stage.
It's a curse when you get older, your eyes stop working. My mom told me I should start with a joke, but I'm not really very funny, so I'm not going to do that. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be here tonight to be inducted into this amazing organization alongside so many athletes and coaches who are just surreal. I was talking with Coach Roybal yesterday, and the word she used was surreal, and I think that accurately sums up how I'm feeling. I never would have imagined when this started out, what started out on a whim would end up with me standing here before you today. When I was in 7th grade, my friend Nikki was like, "Oh, hey, that looks fun. We should go try out." I was like, "Okay." So after the first practice, when we ran around the fence line of the junior high, I threw up a couple times. So I knew I had a long way to go to get better. When I first started playing for the first couple of years, I would only go in to the game when it was statistically impossible for us to lose. So I had a lot of time to see and learn how other people played, and I knew that I wanted to be out there when the coach looked down the bench to see who to put in for that clutch play. Like, I wanted that to be me. Every chance I got to practice, I did. I would run sprints extra at the high school track on weekends, or stay after. There were many times my coaches just let me turn off the lights in the gym so I could stay after and practice serving or shooting. I spent a lot of time at Lackland Air Force Base gyms playing. One, because there were guys there playing. They were always taller and stronger and faster. And second, because I was 15 and there were guys there. so I, played a lot there. When my high school basketball coach was talking to me, we were talking about all the recruiting going on, and I was recruited by Division I schools, Division II schools, and military academies, and I was speaking with these coaches, and I just didn't, I was talking with my high school coach about that. Like, I didn't feel like they were really a good fit for me, and he kind of cocked his head to the side, and he goes, "Well, have you ever heard of Eastern New Mexico University?" I was like, "New Mexico? You have to speak Spanish if you go there?" Like, I didn't know. And he said, there was a coach there, Wayne Moore. He said, "I think you'll really like him." And sure enough, when I met Wayne Moore, he was the most genuine, awesome person that I knew that I wanted to play for him. And getting to Eastern with my sister was a year ahead of me in school, and she also played basketball. She went to Texas Lutheran College, and she wasn't happy there. And we ended up coming to our college visit on the same day. And Coach Moore said, "We're not a big school. We don't have a lot of things that a lot of the big schools have. But when you come here, you'll be able to make an immediate impact. you'll be able to help our program and really make a difference. And that's, he was speaking my language. And when he was talking to us at the end, he said, what do you think? And my sister, Sam, she said, oh, I like it, I'll come here. And I was like, oh, me too. And that's how I ended up at Eastern. When I was in preseason basketball, I walked by I just finished a workout, and I walked by the gym where the volleyball players were practicing because they were in season. And I heard, them, got it, mine, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I missed that. So I was looking around, and I peeked in the door, and I saw them playing, and I was like, oh, I think I can help. Another opportunity to help. So I talked to Coach McGuire, who's also here, Wayne Moore and Coach McGuire are my coaches. And he said, well, yeah, you can play, and then I started playing volleyball. And long story short, I'm standing before you with 2 retired jerseys, a lot of amazing memories, and I'm just really grateful to be here. I also want to say thank you to my teammates and my coaches. I kind of make jokes sometimes that Jen is best taken in small doses because I can be a lot. I'm very intense, and that it's not just limited to the court. It's just, part of who I am. And my husband, who now coaches at Eastern New Mexico University, also my best friend, he puts up with a lot. Thanks, honey. And coaches and teammates, allowing me to be me, to support the team in a way that I was best at. So. Thank you also to the board and everybody for this awesome honor. This is not the words are not giving the right to, just thank you so much.
Now it is time to announce our High School Coaches of the Year annual award winners. Our first award is for the High School Girls Coach of the Year, and to present the Girls Coach of the Year award will be board member Ed Manzanares and annual award winner partner George Lovato, CEO of BH Capital. New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame recognizes Volcano Vista High School girls head basketball coach Lisa Villarreal as the 2022 High School Girls Coach of the Year. Please pay attention on both sides of the screen as the video of Coach Villarreal's accomplishments will be shown.
Lisa Villarreal, known as Coach V, led the Volcano Vista Hawks girls basketball team to back-to-back 5A state girls championships, in 2022 going undefeated 29-0. It was the 4th straight state championship appearance for the Hawks. The Hawks were the 27th team to go undefeated since 1973. The Hawks went on a 46-game winning streak over the course of 3 seasons, which ended December 6, 2022. This winning streak ranks 9th all-time in state history. Lisa has been coaching girls basketball for 19 years with 17 winning seasons in that span. Her teams have made every state tournament. In addition to the 2021 and 2022 state title, her Hawks teams won in 2012, 2014, and 2016. Coach V has been the only girls basketball coach at Volcano Vista since the school opened in 2007. Her record at Volcano Vista is 307 wins with 111 losses, and 378 wins, 129 losses overall.
Thank you, Marty, board members, donors. My sincere condolences to the Barella family. Thank you for the video. all of this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for all the players that have come through our system. I know we have Kennedy Brown in the stands, the Brown family, the Hills. I can't name them all, but without their support, my family's support, my coach's support, I have my brother who's my right-hand man on the court, and it's such an honor to be here. I do have to congratulate all the inductees. Congratulations, well-deserved. Cindy Roybal and Cheryl Johnson, thank you for paving the way for the females, coaching females. And many of you may not know this, but Cheryl Johnson was the athletic director at Volcano Vista, and I just want to say thank you for taking a chance on me. Thank you.
Let's give Lisa another round of applause. Keep up the great work, Lisa. Our next award is for the High School Boys Coach of the Year, and to present the Boys Coach of the Year will be board member Frank Castillo and partner Tanya and Frank Smith, owner of Serve Pro Rio Rancho, South Albuquerque. New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame recognizes Volcano High School Boys head basketball coach Greg Brown as the High School Boys Coach of the Year. Once again, please take a look at the video boards on either side of the room and to see Coach Brown's accomplishments.
Undefeated season, state championship. You want your daughter win a state championship, and of course, Papa. You go through pretty much a lifetime of emotions in 1 year.
You ain't gonna make me cry. I know you're trying to make me cry. I don't have much to say. God is good, and I miss him. I miss my dad. This is our first state tournament without him, but we felt his presence. These kids are amazing because they dedicated the season to him, and they didn't have to do that. They wanted to do that, and they're just special, and this is about them as well, and their families. These are some special seniors that we've had.
Thank you very much. Honored to be here. Thank you, Marty. Thank you. Just this opportunity is very special. And the 2021-22 year at Volcano was very special. Never before has the boys and the girls basketball program from the same school had an undefeated season like we did in 2022. Both programs ended up winning the district, metro, and state championships, going 29-0. And tonight to have an opportunity to celebrate this amazing accomplishment with Coach Villarreal and her family, with Jaquan Hill, who is our Player of the Year, and his family, with my family being here. My coaching staff is here. And to be here being honored alongside of these amazing inductees, it's very special. At a place, the New Mexico, the Hall of Fame, which is a place that's very special to our family. My late father, Mike Brown, was an inductee in 2019, and it's just an honor to be standing up here, and I appreciate you very much. Have a good night.
Let's give Greg another round of applause. We now continue with tonight's program with a presentation of the 2022 High School Athletes of the Year Award. Being named the High School Athlete of the Year Award is a title so many of these young people strive for each year, but only a few reach. Each year it is amazing to see how many great young athletes we have spanning across all sports. These next two athletes fit the bill and exemplify the title. In the female athlete category, presenting the awards for Female High School Athlete of the Year will be board member Amy Fankum and High School Girls Athlete of the Year partner, U.S. Eagle Federal Credit Union's Public Relation and Community Outreach Manager, Rachel Pierce. New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame recognizes Ashlyn Salas of Hope Christian School as the High School Female Athlete of the Year. Ashlyn was unable to attend the banquet because she had a match today at Fort Lewis College. Let's take a look at her accomplishments in 2022.
Ashlyn has been one of the best soccer players in the state of New Mexico for 4 years now and was clearly the best player in New Mexico her senior season. Ashlyn scored a goal in the championship game, and this was back-to-back state championships for the Huskies. It was their third straight state championship appearance. The 5'2" senior midfielder was instrumental in leading Hope Christian to a 23-0 record and a 4A state championship. During her senior season, she scored 47 goals, had 21 assists, and scored 115 points. While Ashlyn's stats speak for themselves, what is even more impressive is that she played midfielder, but when needed, would play defense for the Huskies due to injuries of other teammates or needing to protect a lead in a game. In her last 3 years, Ashlyn earned First Team All-State and First Team All-Metro honors. She was selected as an All-American. Ashlyn will be playing soccer for the Fort Lewis College Skyhawks in the fall.
Amy Fankum, who was Ashlyn Salas' high school soccer coach, will accept on Ashlyn's behalf.
Hi. I want to accept this on behalf of Ash. She's a phenomenal kid, and when she had to make the decision of being here before you guys or being in a match, I told her, you know, I'm a coach. Be at the match. You got to go play some soccer. So, but I'm going to keep things short because if any of you know Ashlyn, you know that in the 4 years I coached her, she probably said about 10 words to the team and myself. So I just wanted to tell a quick story on Ash's behalf. We were playing this past season where, as the video said, we had a really good year. We were undefeated, and we ended up being ranked 11th nationally, but we were playing against our crosstown rivals, Albuquerque Academy, and it was maybe the only game in 4 years where she just wasn't what she typically is. And so I subbed her out of the game, and before I had a chance to say anything that I thought would be brilliant, she said, I know, Coach, I'm not playing well. Can I just get a drink of water and then go take care of this game for you? Yes, you can. So sure enough, she goes back in the game, scores a hat trick. We win 3-2, and our undefeated season continues. So on behalf of Ash, thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And she'll make New Mexico proud.
Our last award recognizes the Boys High School Athlete of the Year. This award will be presented by New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame board member Tom Manning, and annual award partner is Malloy Nissan. Representing Malloy Nissan is Lene Benson, owner, president of Jumpstart Advertising, the advertising agency of Malloy Nissan. Ladies and gentlemen, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame recognizes Jaquan Hill of Volcano Vista High School as the Boys High School Athlete of the Year. While Jaquan is walking up to the stage, let's take a look at his accomplishments in 2022.
As a senior, Jaquan Hill, a 6'2" guard, led the Volcano Vista Hawks to a 29-0 record in the 5A state championship. In 2021-22, Hill averaged 18.1 points with 6 rebounds and 5 assists per game. In that year, Hill, a 4-year varsity player, shot 61% from conventional field goal range, 45% from beyond the arc, and 83% at the free throw line. In the 2022 5A state championship game, Hill scored 17 points with 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals in Volcano Vista's 66-55 overtime win against number 1 Las Cruces. He was clutch down the stretch, including hitting 2 free throws with 4 seconds remaining to send the game into overtime.
All right, biggest free throws of Jaquan Hill's life coming up. First one's good.
Automatic.
That never touched any part of the rim. Coach Benjamin is signaling he wants a timeout on the make. Second free throw. Never a doubt. That's why they call him Money.
Thank you. First off, I just want to start off by saying it's an honor to be here and be accepting this award around all these other athletes and coaches, and they didn't tell me I'd be giving a speech today, so this is going to be really short, but I just want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank my family, first off, my mom, my dad, all of my siblings who, especially my older ones who got me into basketball in the first place. Some of them are here. Tyrell, Marquise. I want to thank Julianne too. Also, I want to thank my teammates for pushing me and allowing me to push them as well every day in practice. And I want to thank my coaches as well, Coach Chris, Coach Brown, Coach C, Bates, Coach Tripp, Coach V too, all the coaches who've helped me and pushed me, and that's all I got. Thank you.
Jaquan, please remain at center stage. Now, let's welcome Theo Barela's brother, Walter Barela. He'll give a few words on behalf of his brother, board member and past president Dick Johnson, and Theo's son Anthony will, and Theo's husband Joseph will, to present the check. Anthony and Joseph will present Jaquan and Ashlyn the 2000 Theo Barela Scholarship Fund.
Hello, and thank you all for coming. I'm Walter Barela, Theo's brother. And Marty asked me, can you tell everybody what sports meant to Theo? Well, if you know Theo, the most important thing to Theo is family. And what he learned quite quickly going to a small high school, Manal High School, is that when you play a sport, you expand your family. And although he was a great basketball player, they became his brothers, not just teammates, right? And I think every athlete knows that. You strive hard for your brother. And Marty, I love the write-up you did for Theo, because the second thing is passion, because you have to have a lot of passion to keep pursuing and getting up and pursuing and winning. And I know the Sports Hall of Fame is down a very passionate player with Theo being gone. I'm sorry. But I hope we can take his dream, putting together a bricks and mortar, God dang it, sorry, bricks and mortar Sports Hall of Fame, and I hope we can push it across the finish line for him, because without his passion, it's going to be harder, but I hope we can all join together and get it done. Thank you.
Our next New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame inductee is Cheryl Johnson. Cheryl Johnson spent 31 years in APS education as a physical education teacher, volleyball, basketball, and softball coach, assistant principal, and athletic director. She was a player on the first UNM softball team in 1978. She won 3 state softball titles. During the 2011 and 2012 season, the Hawks had a state best 52-game winning streak. Cheryl also excelled in racquetball, playing in the state and national age group competitions for amateurs from 1985 going forward. Please, once again, direct your attention to the screens on either side of the stage.
Cheryl Johnson spent 31 years in APS education as a physical education teacher, volleyball, basketball, and softball coach, assistant principal, and athletic director. Cheryl's integrity, demeanor, enthusiasm, and classy example of how you coach and react in the heat of competition set her apart from so many others. She's cool under pressure, and she's a winner, said longtime Mustang baseball coach Tim McCorkle when Cheryl was named the athletic director at West Mesa High School. She's best known as a softball coach, taking her teams 5 times to the state finals at 3 different schools, West Mesa, La Cueva, and Volcano Vista. Cheryl, a Manzano High School graduate in 1976, was a 3-year letterman in volleyball, basketball, and softball. The Monarchs won state volleyball in 1975 and were the state softball runners-up in 1976. She won state softball titles in 2005 with La Cueva High School and in 2011 and 12 with Volcano Vista. She attended New Mexico State on a scholarship to play softball. In 1978, she transferred to the University of New Mexico to play on the school's first softball team. She earned a gold glove at second base and was one of the best hitters ever for UNM. Cheryl also excelled in racquetball, playing in the state age group competitions for amateurs from 1985 forward. She placed 4th in the Racquetball Nationals in 1996. Cheryl was the APS Sports Coach of the Year in 1993. She was inducted into the Albuquerque Baseball Softball Hall of Fame in 2005. Cheryl went into Albuquerque Public School Administration from 1993 to 2001. She returned to teaching and coaching softball from 2002 until 2007.
Presenting the portrait for our next inductee will be board members Gail Lovato and Hall of Fame partner and board member and Hall of Fame partner Marty Seiss, president, and his son Kevin, vice president of the Marty Seiss State Farm Agency. At this time, please help me welcome Cheryl Johnson to the podium.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame Committee for voting me into this honor. Secondly, I got to do this lower, I'm shorter. Thank you to my family, to my friends, to my softball players for, yes, yay, for helping me through my career. My daughters, Laura and Katie, they've been through all of the softball years, helping me drag fields, sitting in dugouts, riding on buses, and cheering. Heck, Katie, my youngest, was even born on a softball game day. I went to the doctor, and the doctor says, "You're going to have a baby today." I said, "Oh, no, I'm not. I got a game." I said, "I'll take my scorebook to the assistant coach, and then we'll have Katie." And so that's what happened. And then, you know, she was born during the softball season, so then she was still there. There was still softball season. So she would go into the dugout, and her older sister, who was almost 3, would sit in the dugout with her and watch her for me, and she'd yell out, "Mommy, the baby's okay. Mommy, I'm taking care of the baby. Mommy, I'm feeding the baby." And I was like, good, yay, Mommy's hitting grounders to the infielders. So anyway, thank you, Laura and Katie, for everything that you have endured through this lifetime. After West Mesa, I went into administration for about 8 years. And then I met my husband, and my husband was teaching and coaching, and he loved coaching baseball. And so we had a conversation, and then we got married. And then I said, "You know, I've been watching you have so much fun coaching baseball. I would like to coach softball again." So I don't remember how it went, but I either asked him or told him or something that, anyway, I went back to coaching softball, which is my love. And I was fortunate enough to land a coaching job over at La Cueva High School. And I coached there for about 4 years. Each year we made it to the state tournament. And in 2005, during a team meeting, the girls told me, they said, "Coach, we are so tired of going to the state tournament and just going." They said, "Coach, is it okay if we win it this year?" I said, "Well, yeah, sure. Let's try that. That'd be great." So we went on and we won the state tournament. We won the state tournament that year in the bottom of the 7th inning, 2 outs, a runner on second base, and then the last batter hit a base hit into right field, and we won the game 1-0. And I tell you this because, yes, it was 2005, and I can remember it vividly in my memory. It was so much fun. It was just pure joy. It was the first time I got to win a state championship as a coach. So anytime my team ever wanted to win a state championship, I said, "Let's just go for it, girls." I retired from La Cueva thinking, well, you know, I'm going to probably completely retire from education. And then Volcano Vista High School was built. I had never opened a brand new school before, and I thought, wow, that would be a wonderful experience. So in 2011, we won the state tournament. Then in 2012, we had a record, as he said, 52 wins and 0 losses. It was amazing. We were the #1 seed in the state tournament, and guess what? We lost in the semifinal game. But the story gets exciting. Thankfully, the NMAA had decided that year, they said, "You know what? We're going to have a double elimination softball tournament." Whew, thank goodness. So we came back through the losers bracket. We had to beat Carlsbad twice. We won the state tournament. It was the best 3-0 team I had ever been a part of. It was so exciting. We celebrated being 3-0 that year. So, thank you, girls. I know some of them are out there. Thank you, girls. I appreciate it. I tell you this brief history because this honor is all about all those people involved. The assistant coaches, the managers, the players, the softball, baseball pillow talk I used to have with my husband before games, after games, during practices. It was about my daughters coming out and cheering me on all the time. Cold weather, hot weather, windy weather. They had their Starbucks in hand and they were cheering us on. And I tell you, I would not be up here without all of them, without all of you. This is an honor that many players and coaches are receiving. I am just the one up here to accept it tonight. Thank you again. This honor is really humbling, and it is very exciting. Thank you.
There was one New Mexico Sports Hall of Famer that came in a little bit late, but we don't want to forget him. Former Sandia football coach, New Mexico Sports Hall of Famer, Jim Ottman. Want to recognize him. He came in a little bit late, so. Our fourth inductee is Cindy Roybal. Cindy Pecos Roybal was born in Pecos, New Mexico. She would play on the first women's professional basketball team, the All-American Redheads, for 1 year. She would coach from 1975 to present. As a high school and college basketball coach, her teams won over 600 games. Cindy will return to coaching as the head girls basketball coach at Pewaukee High School for the upcoming 2023-24 season. Her sports journey continues. Please direct your attention to the screens on either side of the stage.
Cindy Pecos Roybal was born in Pecos, New Mexico. From an early age, Cindy has always been a fierce competitor. She had dreams of winning a state high school basketball title, playing in the Olympics, and professionally like boys. Unfortunately, there were no sanctioned girls teams at the various levels. Cindy decided to change that with a sit-down strike at Pecos High School to start a girls team or to allow her to play on the boys team. Her senior year, Cindy would go to New Mexico Highlands to watch a game at the Stu Clark gym that the All-American Redheads were playing. The Redheads, a professional all-women's all-star team, played full court against men's teams and existed from 1936 to 1986. After this game, her life would never be the same. She asked to try out for the team. The owner, Orwell Moore, invited Cindy to Camp Courage in Caraway, Arkansas for the tryout. She made the team. They played 228 games over 32 states from 1971 to 1972. 1 year was enough for Cindy, and she decided to become a coach. She started her teaching and coaching career in 1975 at Santa Fe's St. Catherine High School, where she was the PE department head, cheerleader sponsor, intramural director, and head coach for girls basketball, volleyball, softball, and track. From 1985 to 2002, Cindy became a college professor and coached basketball and volleyball at New Mexico Highlands University. She was the only Hispanic female athletic director in the nation from 2000 to 2002. In 2002, Cindy returned to high school basketball for 3 years at Pewaukee Valley High School. She then went back to Santa Fe Indian School from 2009 to 2013, where she won back-to-back AAA state basketball championships in 2010 and 11, and her team was the state runners-up in 2012, losing by 1 point in the final. Her overall high school basketball record is 377 wins with 105 losses.
Presenting our next Hall of Fame inductee is board member Dr. Jim Abreu and Hall of Fame partner New Mexico Highlands University Board of Regent Frank Sanchez. At this time, please help me welcome Cindy Roybal to the podium.
Impossible dream to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, and to run where the brave dare not go. To right the unrightable wrong, and to love pure and chaste.
Bienvenidos
from
todos
far.
a este lugar y le agradezco a todos ustedes. Now, I don't know if I can follow Cheryl on having a baby during my... And then Jennifer, you know, she was having a hard time seeing. Talk about seeing. I had to ask my friend to enlarge it a little bit so I could be sure. Anyway, I want to thank the members of the board of the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame for this incredible honor, especially Jim Abreu, Tom Manning. Thank you so much. You are the people that pushed this to become a reality. To Ben Moffitt for nominating me and filing the paperwork, and also to Theo Varela, and I want to thank his family and give my condolences to them. I want to thank Marty, maybe because he teases me too much about being on time. And you know how Marty is about time. And Karen and anyone else who was responsible for putting my bio and video together. That was very special. I am so humbled and excited to be inducted with two other females, Jennifer and Cheryl. I don't think in the history of the Sports Hall of Fame had 3 women been inducted together. I think last year, Marty? And of course, being inducted with Dan, Mr. Univision, and with his family here, and the goat of rodeo, Ty Murray. The impossible dream, I believe that has been my mantra throughout my life. The difference between this dreamer and most is that I enjoy turning my dreams into reality. I've often dreamt about this moment being inducted into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, and wow, I'm finally here. I didn't think I would ever make it. When I got the call from Theo, I actually asked him if it was a prank call. After he snickered, he assured me it wasn't. To say I was a pioneer or a trailblazer for women's sports is putting it mildly. I did everything from organizing a sit-out in high school because we didn't have any girls' sports, to petition the New Mexico Activities Association under L. Richards, who was the executive secretary and was still alive, and to allow women to play at the pit. Lisa, that's why you're playing there. I played with the All-American Redheads as the first female professional basketball player born and raised in the state of New Mexico. The Redheads were a women's professional basketball team equivalent to the Harlem Globetrotters. We played only against men. We won 228 ball games and lost only 14. It was then that I realized my calling and wanted to become a coach. I was so enthused about the whole process that I graduated in 3 years from the College of Santa Fe to my first teaching job at St. Catherine's Indian School, both schools which no longer exist. If that doesn't age me, I don't know what does. I love coaching and affording women the opportunity that I never had, but could have had with the proper coaching. As a member of the All-American Redheads basketball team, we were inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, and you can't accomplish anything bigger than that. That was so surreal. When we were called up to the podium, to the stage, I was looking out at the audience, as I am now, and we got a standing ovation from all the professionals there, the likes of Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Charles Barkley, to name a few. It was then that I got a tear on my eye and realized what a special moment that was. Just like now, this is like the cherry on the cake. Amazing. What an honor for this young lady from a small town like Pecos, New Mexico. We were also named the Trailblazers of the game for the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame at Knoxville, Tennessee, where I got to meet my idol, Pat Summitt. I spent countless hours trying to imitate that stare. Or maybe she was trying to imitate mine. My players out in the audience know exactly what I mean. I started coaching when there was just a handful of people in the stands, mainly parents, to having 15,000 screaming fans at the pit when we were playing for championships. Right, Lisa? Once again, to say that I was a pioneer or a dinosaur in basketball profession is putting it lightly. I was using a matchup zone and a triangle offense before Phil Jackson and Tex Ritter gave it a name. Talk about before my time. Imagine if I would have been the one to write the book. I would have been the millionaire. But if I was to pick what my legacy would be or what I would want to be remembered for, it would be for the fact that although I care about winning, and that's probably why I'm here, I care more about educating young ladies and giving them the opportunity that I never had. Countless scholarships were given to so many athletes that would not have otherwise been recruited. I cared about their academics, whether in high school or college, and what they would become, that they would become productive citizens. That was shown not only by the game, which taught them discipline, communication, skills, and work ethics. No other discipline in life teaches you more than life itself about sports. Its ups and downs, its successes and failures, how to react to those situations is what makes you who you are. But what we did for several other peoples, including the Peslakais, my other family who are here tonight, when they lost their two girls in a horrific traffic accident after the first round of the state tournament at Santa Fe Indian School, to so many in the state who later became teachers, educators, administrators, coaches, a few in the medical field, and one I know for sure who became an attorney. I would like to be remembered as a coach that cared about them, even though when they were playing for me, might not have realized that. No one makes this journey alone. And now, as they say, I saved the best for last. I want everyone that came to support me tonight to please stand. All of you. You are a big part of this honor. Whether you're a family member, one of my players, one of my coaches, one of my dear friends, or a fan, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I love you all. I have not made this journey alone. All of you that are here tonight have been an integral part of my journey. Muchas gracias.
Our final inductee of the night is Rodeo Go Ty Murray. Murray won 7 all-around titles by competing in bull riding, saddle bronc riding, and bareback riding during a record-setting career. Please direct your attention to the screens on either side of the stage for the presentation of our 5th Hall of Fame inductee this evening, Ty Murray.
The life of a true cowboy. It's a long and lonely road with endless battles and many injuries. The great ones not only endure these hardships, they prevail with toughness, grit, and courage. Elements that define the heroes of this tough and demanding sport. Ty Murray always knew he wanted to be a cowboy. As a toddler, he rode calves, and he helped his father break wild horses at a young age.
When I was 2 years old, this is what I knew I was going to do, and this is what I started working at from that age. I don't remember the day that I decided that I wanted to be a cowboy. My dad was a cowboy, and my grandpa was a cowboy. It's all I can ever remember wanting to be.
Ty Murray joined the PRCA on his 18th birthday and went on to become the youngest PRCA all-around rodeo cowboy in the history of the association.
Murray on Gunslinger.
Okay, now this is the champ. I don't know how many buckles he's going to stick in his trunk before he hangs it up, but the Gunslinger, the 93 bull of the national finals, the cowboy of the 90s. Check it out.
At the young age of 23, Ty Murray became the youngest rodeo millionaire in history. That same year, he partnered with 19 other cowboys to form the PBR. 6 years later, he finally claimed his 7th all-around world title at the NFR. By 2000, he joined the PBR full-time and qualified for the World Finals the next 3 years.
Well, here comes Ty. Good. This is the greatest cowboy of all time, fixing to nod his head.
Oh, got reared back, coming out of the gate, get back up there. Come on, Ty's going into his hand. He gets up, trying to bump his tail off. To the right. Oh, man. Worked his feet out, coming, put them out again. He made another good move. Come on, Ty. Come on, Puddin'. Come on, give it roll now. He's going to hold it out of it. Give it.
I wasn't the type of kid that wanted to be a football player one week, an astronaut the next, and, you know, a doctor the week after that. You know, I knew very seriously that this is what I wanted to do. I started riding calves when I was 3 years old, and, you know, I think I wanted to be good at it then.
Ty had something that other kids didn't have. And I can't tell you what it was, but he was different.
When I was in 3rd grade, the teacher passed out like a questionnaire. One of the questions was, if you can do anything in your life, what would it be? And I put that I wanted to be the greatest all-around cowboy to ever live.
I broke horses for a living, and Ty would spend hours in the breaking pen with me on his old saddle horse. And by the time he was 10 years old, he was snubbing broncs for me, and I had more faith in him than I did a grown man.
He used to embarrass me to death when he was little. We would go to the grocery store, and he'd be going through the store like this, and people would be thinking, that is one weird kid. He's just one of those kids that you don't find very often. I mean, I think he's like one in a million.
I wished every parent could have a son or daughter like Ty to experience what his mom and I have.
No other man has won 7 PRCA all-around world championships. This man is responsible for lifting the sport to mainstream respectability. Ty Murray truly is the king of the cowboys.
Well, I grew up all summers of my whole childhood, from the time I was born till I was 18. I spent every summer of my life in New Mexico. You know, my dad was a racehorse man, and he was a starter at the tracks in Ruidoso, Santa Fe, and Albuquerque. So, you know, New Mexico's a huge part of my childhood. I love going back there. The smell of the air, the smell of the rain on the desert, you know, all the diversity of New Mexico, the red and green chili and the New Mexican food. You know, I miss all of that. And, you know, I always tell my wife, when I go back to New Mexico, when I smell the air, it takes me right back to my childhood. You know, it just has a certain smell, you know, in the high desert. And I love that smell, and we go back there a lot, you know, not just for my event, but, you know, we travel through there, and I've taken my wife and kids around to places in New Mexico, like the Jemez Mountains I love. Like, you know, I spent a lot of time growing up in a little town called Peña Blanca, New Mexico, and not too far from Cochiti Lake, and lived on a ranch outside of Santa Fe, and a man by the name of Ray Hem. And, you know, I spent my childhood there and kind of my junior high and high school years in Peña Blanca. And so, you know, I would say that New Mexico is definitely woven into my fabric, and that's the reason we have my event there in Albuquerque.
The portrait for our next Hall of Fame inductee will be presented by board member, retired Judge Joseph Baca, Hall of Fame partner Shane Westholter, and April Lynn Chavez Geisler, owners of All In Autographs, Gateway, Insurance. At this time, please help me welcome to the podium Ty Murray.
Really, truly an honor to be here. Marty wanted us to write speeches, and I don't ever write speeches, so that's the reason he made my video so long. Because he thought when I got up here I might not say too much, but I'm going to surprise him. This is a huge honor. I want to give congratulations to my fellow inductees and the inductees that are in attendance here. I'm super glad that those 3 girls didn't ride bulls. And it truly is. It was so fun learning about them and reading about them, and very humbling, you know, to see the things that these girls have done, and it's especially inspiring having a daughter, you know, to look up to that sort of thing. I also want to thank the New Mexico Hall of Fame board, Marty for stepping up for Mr. Barella, and for me, you know, I've spent my lifetime trying to get people to see what special athletes do my sport. And, you know, I think that, you know, like a lot of times we're not even considered athletes, and that breaks my heart. You know, I've worked at this for a long, long time, and I grew up playing a lot of other sports as well. And, you know, the amount of athletic ability that it takes to ride bulls or bucking horses or the timed events, it's not only on par with other sports, but when you add in the danger and how scary it is, that changes the stakes. We have the same pressures of winning and losing and making a living and feeding your family and things like that. But when you're doing a sport that you can truly die at every time you do it, a bull can kill you on accident. And so whenever you can learn to get control of your emotions and have enough control over your brain that you can still be focused and fluid in a car crash scary environment, that was what attracted me to the sport. That was to take something that was that scary and that dangerous and be able to make it look easy and make it look effortless and have great style and finesse and grace in that kind of environment. That just always drove me. I thought that cowboys were the toughest, bravest. You know, they were like Superman to me. And so it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen as a kid. And that's something that drove me, you know, for the first half of my life. Having that passion is such an important part to life, you know, to having something that you want to chase that bad and something that no matter what, you just keep getting up. I wanted to break Larry Mahan's record. Larry Mahan was the greatest rough stock cowboy of all time, and he was my idol, and he had won 6 all-arounds. And, you know, I stated it as a little boy that I wanted to break his record. And I'm so thankful for that record that he set, because that's something that inspired me so much. And trust me, when you're riding bulls and bucking horses for a living, there's lots of days that you get asked from the powers above that, is this something you really want to do? You know, it's a rough, dangerous occupation. And so to be able to have a passion that just kept bringing me back no matter what, I just felt like I had to do it, and I just kept striving for it. And that's something that I'm thankful for. That's something that I hope my kids have a passion for something in life the way that I did, because I don't think the key to happiness is money. I think that the key to happiness is that, having something that makes you just so driven and having that passion in you, and then being able to accomplish things. Those things that's where all my happiness has come from, and that, and my family, and all the things that the sport of rodeo has exposed me to. I've gotten to do a lot of things that without this I would have never gotten to do. New Mexico, as I said in the video, has been a big part of my life, and so being recognized in this state is very special to me. We had, when we started the PBR, they said, Ty, we want to do an event with your name on it. Where should we do it? And I said, let's do it in New Mexico. And they said, yeah, we got to put your name on it because everybody thinks PBR is Pabst Blue Ribbon. So here we are 27 years later, and my name's still on it, but we just did it that first year just so people would connect it to rodeo or cowboys or bull riding or something like that. But see, I made notes here, Marty.
Those are your bullet points.
Yeah, these are my bullet points. I get the recognition, and there's so many people, as somebody else said, there's so many people that are involved to make. When you set out to be the greatest at something, it's a tall task. And it takes a lot of people in your corner, my mom and dad and my sisters and my family and my friends. So much support. Just having somebody, not to mention all the miles they haul you and all the practice that they help you with and the training and all the financial and all that, but just the spirit of them always, being in your corner. I've done a lot of speeches and at a lot of, different things. My mom and dad have never missed one ever, and they're here tonight with me. And so I feel very lucky. I think that Jennifer was talking about how sports can help you in life, and that's been the case for me. I feel so lucky to have been able to make a wonderful living. My whole life is just being a cowboy. That's all I've ever been for 53 years, and it's all I know. And the dedication and the toughness and the not giving up and the just believing in something and going after it, that's what has that's something that's really helped me. Also, a lot of luck. I was born with certain things that my body type was perfect for the sport. The kind of brain that I have, I think, was set up for this sport. And the tenacity that I learned from this sport, learned from watching my dad, those are the things that are still driving me now. You get old and you get all sentimental. When we started the PBR, talking about being a cowboy, when we started the PBR, our very first year, we had our finals. They were in Las Vegas at the MGM. And we were negotiating kind of the business part of having our event there. And we were about, I think we were about $200,000 apart on what we wanted and what they wanted to give. And we were kind of going back and forth, and a lot of time had went by, and we kept going back and forth. And finally we stood up and we said, well, why don't we flip for it? And these executives from the MGM said, what? And I said, let's flip for it. Heads, you guys come our way, tails, we'll go your way. Well, they liked that spirit so much from us Cowboys that they decided to give us the $200,000, and that's where the PBR began. And so, another funny little story is we hired our first CEO because it was just pretty much us Cowboys doing it. And he's a guy named Randy Bernard. He was a young guy as well, but he was a great. He's a superstar that we found. And he came to our first finals, and here, it's a handful of Cowboys running this deal. And he comes into our office, and we had an old bull rider working for us by the name of Ken Henry. And Randy said, come in there, and Ken hadn't met Randy yet, and he comes in the office, and he says, where's your copy machine? And Ken looked at him, and he storms out, and he goes, Jesus, you guys don't even have a copy machine. He storms out of the room, and Ken Henry looked over at me and says, I don't know who the hell that guy is, but he can get his own coffee. So anyways, have I made the 10-minute mark, Marty? Okay. Did I surprise you? All right. I want to thank all you guys for coming. A good friend of mine, Howard Hodge, I haven't seen him since I was 17 years old. We did gymnastics together in high school. He drove here from Phoenix, Arizona. That's pretty special. My aunt Linda's here. My uncle Tony's here. And all that support means a lot, and all you people clapping means a lot. And I'm just super appreciated to be recognized as an athlete with these great athletes. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame honorary board member Marty Seiss to the podium for some closing remarks.
Thank you. On June 19th, 2 months ago, I had planned to be sitting out there. Had no plans of doing any speeches. I'd spent 2 hours with Theo. I brought Theo into the Hall of Fame about 3 years ago, and he had come into my office to do something. He wanted me to do the portraits for his Elegante Hotel Sports Bar, and I ended up convincing him to be a board member. A year and a half ago, I decided to leave the board after 15 years, and he goes, man, I became president, you let me down. I said, well, behind the scenes, I'll help you out. So on June 19th, we spent about 2 hours. He had his checklist, and he said, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll get the board member to do this. Marty, just worry about the program and the portraits, and hopefully the portraits, you all liked them. Try to make them special, and took a lot of calls and stuff. And I had to do 4 things that day. I had to put all of the ticket forms, the partnership forms, the RSV forms, and the golf forms on the website, so you guys could buy all this stuff. I only had a chance to put 2 of them, the tickets and the golf. And I said, oh, shoot, Theo's going to get pissed. He's going to be mad. And so he was also going to get me the press release so I could send it out to the media. He didn't get me the press release on Tuesday, and thank God I didn't hear from Theo. Tuesday night, didn't have a chance to work on it, and I was about to apologize on Wednesday morning, but didn't have a chance to call. And then Frank Castillo called. On Wednesday, to tell me Theo died. So the board member said, well, what do we do? Can you help? Well, damn it, yes, we are going to help. Theo wants to get this sucker going. He wants to keep this going, his passion. So on behalf of our president, Theo Borello, and the spirit with us tonight, I want to thank again all our partner companies for the financial support. The past inductees for joining us. I would like to thank all our board members to stand up. For their countless hours of volunteering their time. We have no paid staff, and they all pulled together to make this happen. I'd like my State Farm Agency to stand up. Without them, they've stepped up to give me time to handle all the induction banquet tasks. I would like to mention, special mention, in 1973, that's when this organization started. The first banquet was in '74, and we have an honorary board member that wasn't able to come. We consider him our lifetime board member. That's Malin Love. Malin was active all the way up to 2017. So we're going to present this. He just had surgery last week, and so we'll present this on behalf. Malin and a group of people started this organization again in 1973. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage our presenting partner for both the Charity Golf Classic and the Induction Banquet, Eddie Espinosa, the general manager. From 2018, Gallus Chevrolet has been our major partner, being the presenting partner for the Gallus for the Charity Golf for all 4 years, and for both events this year. The Gallus family are true Hall of Famers in my book. Now I would like to welcome back to the stage each of our inductees with their portraits, so we can take a photo with Eddie Espinosa. Bring your portraits. Give it a little bit. There you go. There you go. Swallow him. Let's give them one loud round of applause. And as Theo would probably say, let's reflect on how special tonight was for you, and please come back, because next year will be our 50th anniversary induction banquet. Good night, and have safe travels. If you like to come up and take photos, you're welcome to.
Let it go.